Another all alert. Here we have Galatians chapter 3, where it says, "For we are all children of God." What did I say about all? Well, which all? Is everybody a child of God? Or are the elect chosen, those who are part of God's church, the children of God? It says all here, but it's speaking to those who are believers. Paul is writing this letter to a church. He's not writing it to the heathen. He's writing it to those who believe. It says, "For as many of you as have been baptized into Christ have put on Christ." So it doesn't say all are children, but for as many of you that are baptized into Christ have put on to Christ. There's neither Jew nor Greek. You're all part of Christ. See, this is what the context of the verse is, but we always have to use this word all because all is the only thing an Arminian can hold on to. And it's really not much. There's nothing left of all when you look at verses like Luke chapter 2, which I'm going to keep bringing up because Luke chapter 2 is the perfect example of the word all and how all doesn't always mean every single person in the world. You know, King James Version. All right. Verse 1. "And it came to pass that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed." Now, in some versions it says all the Roman world, which would be more accurate, but according to the Old Greek, I believe it is just all the world. So was all the Roman world taxed, or was all the world taxed by Caesar Augustus, who was the head of Rome? See, all doesn't mean everybody in the whole world to be taxed. And all went, or everybody went, to be taxed. So if all went to be taxed, that means everybody, every Indian from the Inuit Indians in the North Pole and the South and everywhere in the world that's not the Roman world would say all went to be taxed. Everyone into his own city. But not everyone in the whole world. This word all, God draws all men to him. Well, when Jesus Christ is supposed to be, in John chapter 12, by the way, Jesus Christ is supposed to be the Messiah to not just the Jews, but all types of men, all men throughout the world. Remember, for God so loved the world. Remember, beforehand, God didn't love the world. God was just for the Jews. That's why the statement, "God so loved the world," was so important. And that's why when you go, you see words like all men. But again, all does not mean every single person in the world. All men, you know that all men were not drawn. I mean, just by logic, you know that all men were not are not drawn. We know that the Pharisees were not drawn. So when you got this draws all men type of thing going on, oh boy, chapter 12 is really long. Oh wow. Well, let's find out exactly where that was. It John 12:32 or something like that. "And I will be lifted up." Here it is. Now is the judgment of this world. Now shall the prince of this world be cast out, and I shall be lifted up from the earth. That means, and I will draw all men. That means that his cross is going to be lifted up and the gospel is going to go out into the whole world. We know that all men are not drawn. Not every single person in the world was drawn to Christ, but we know that Jesus Christ was lifted up so the whole world could see him. It's very obvious from this verse that this idea of Jesus being lifted up and the cross going out into the gospel going out into the world was something that was not happening before. The gospel was only going to the Jews. Now the gospel was going to the world. So it was going to all men. It didn't mean that all men would be drawn to him. Just that men from all over the world would be drawn because he's going to be lifted up. It's really easy in that context to understand it, except for those people who just want to cling on it and go, all is all, it is all. But all is not.